faithful creatures, and turned them out into the cold and the wet, with many insulting and uncalled for remarks. Here the unfeeling Toad broke into a snigger, and then pulled himself together and tried to look particularly solemn. The Wild Wooders have been living in Toad Hall ever since, continued the rat. And going on simply anyhow. Lying in bed half the day, and breakfast at all hours. And the place in such a mess, I'm told, it's not fit to be seen. Eating your grub, and drinking your drink, and making bad jokes about you, and singing vulgar songs. About prisons and magistrates, and policemen, horrid personal songs, with no humor in them. And they're telling the tradespeople and everybody that they've come to stay for good. Oh, have they? Said Toad, getting up and seizing a stick. I'll jolly soon see about that. It's no good, Toad, called the rat after him. You'd better come back and sit down, you'll only get into trouble. But the Toad was off, and there was no holding him. He marched rapidly down the road, his stick over his shoulder, fuming and muttering to himself in his anger, till he got near his front gate, when suddenly there popped up from behind the palings a long yellow ferret with a gun. Who comes there? Said the ferret sharply. Stuff and nonsense, said Toad, very angrily. What do you mean by talking like that to me? Come out of that at once, or I'll the ferret said never a word, but he brought his gun up to his shoulder. Toad prudently dropped flat in the road, and bang! A bullet whistled over his head. The startled Toad scrambled to his feet and scampered off down the road as hard as he could, and as he ran he heard the ferret laughing and other horrid thin little laughs, taking it up and carrying on the sound. He went back, very crestfallen, and told the water rat. What did I tell you? Said the rat. It's no good. They've got sentries posted, and they are all armed. You must just wait. Still, Toad was not inclined to give in all at once. So he got out the boat, and set off rowing up the river to where the garden front of Toad Hall came down to the waterside. Arriving within sight of his old home, he rested on his oars and surveyed the land cautiously. All seemed very peaceful and deserted and quiet. He could see the whole front of Toad Hall, glowing in the evening sunshine, the pigeons settling by twos and threes along the straight line.